When you think of Somalia and Egypt, you might picture two distant countries, separated by the vastness of North Africa and the Red Sea. But the truth? Their relationship runs deep, woven through centuries of history, culture, and politics. This isn't a recent friendship, it's an ancient bond, a story that begins not with modern borders, but with the whispers of history carried on the monsoon winds. The threads connecting these two nations are woven from millennia of trade, shared faith, and a mutual understanding of what it means to be a guardian of one of the world's most vital waterways. To truly understand this connection, we have to travel back in time, thousands of years, to the era of the pharaohs. Ancient Egyptian texts speak of a mythical, faraway land rich in gold, frankincense, and myrrh, a place they called Punt, or the land of the gods. For centuries, historians debated its location, but many now believe this legendary kingdom was situated in what is modern-day Somalia. Expeditions like the famous one ordered by Queen Hatshepsut weren't conquests. They were grand trade missions. These journeys fostered a relationship built on respect and exchange, laying a foundation of peaceful interaction that echoes to this day. Fast forward to the modern era, and these ancient ties have evolved into a robust framework of formal alliances. Let's start with the big picture. Both Somalia and Egypt are proud members of the Arab League, the African Union, and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Now that's not just alphabet soup or a list of logos on a screen. Each of these memberships represents a shared pillar of their foreign policy and identity. For Somalia, membership in the Arab League, supported by Egypt, solidifies its connection to the wider Arab world, opening doors for political and economic cooperation. Within the African Union, they work together on continental challenges, from security to development, and the OIC binds them through the profound, unifying force of a shared Islamic faith. This shared faith is perhaps the most powerful cultural bridge between them. Both nations are deeply bound by Islamic and Arab cultural heritage, a force shaping everything from daily life to national politics. This connection is most visible in the field of education. For decades, Cairo has been a beacon of learning for the Islamic world, and its famed Al-Azhar University has educated generations of Somali scholars, religious leaders, and thinkers. These scholars returned home not just with degrees, but with a deep appreciation for Egyptian culture and thought. In turn, Egyptian scholars and teachers have traveled to Somalia, helping to build the country's modern education system from the ground up. They didn't just teach, they helped establish schools, develop curricula, and foster a love for the Arabic language. Today, Arabic and Islamic studies in Somalia in particular carry that unmistakable Egyptian influence. It's not just about textbooks, it's about a living, breathing exchange of ideas, passing on a worldview from one generation to the next. Now, let's talk politics, where this foundation of trust translates into tangible support. When Somalia gained its independence in 1960, Egypt, under the charismatic leadership of Gamal Abdel Nasser, was among the very first nations to recognize its sovereignty. This was more than a diplomatic formality. It was a powerful gesture of pan-Arab and pan-African solidarity. Since then, their diplomatic ties have remained remarkably steady, a point of stability even when regional storms threatened to shake things up. Throughout Somalia's challenging periods, including the Civil War, Egypt often played the role of a concerned brother, hosting reconciliation talks and providing humanitarian assistance. Today, that support continues on the world stage. Whether it's at the United Nations or the African Union, you'll often find Egypt being a vocal champion for Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity, arguing that a stable and unified Somalia is essential for the entire region. This brings us to security, another critical piece of the story. A stable Somalia is not just a regional goal. For Egypt, it's a matter of national interest. Egypt has consistently provided military training and support to the Somali National Army. This isn't just about handing over equipment, it's about building capacity, sharing expertise and intelligence, and developing strategies to counter threats, especially the persistent danger posed by terrorist groups like Al-Shabaab. But why such a deep investment? Look at the map. Somalia sits on the Horn of Africa, guarding the southern entrance to the Red Sea, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. For Egypt, whose economic lifeblood flows through the Suez Canal at the northern end of that same sea, this is one of the most strategic locations on the planet. Any disruption to the flow of maritime traffic here, whether from piracy or regional conflict, directly impacts Egypt's economy and security. Therefore, Maritime security in the Gulf of Aden isn't just a local issue, it's a global one, and for Egypt, it's a fundamental priority. In the modern era, the ties between Somalia and Egypt are visibly expressed through a robust developmental partnership. Egypt has become a crucial ally in Somalia's reconstruction, making strategic investments in its future. Consider the foundational pillar of infrastructure. Egyptian engineering and development funds have helped construct vital roads connecting cities and new government buildings that symbolize a strengthening state. Then there's the critical sector of public health. Egyptian medical missions provide essential healthcare, but more importantly, they build local capacity by training Somali doctors and nurses and helping to establish clinics. And of course, there's education. Egypt's support extends beyond renovating schools to curriculum development and teacher training, ensuring the next generation of Somalis has access to quality education, a key ingredient for long-term stability and prosperity. Beyond this foundational aid, the partnership thrives on a vibrant educational exchange. Each year, many Somali students receive scholarships to pursue higher education in Egypt, creating a powerful human bridge between the two societies. A major destination is the prestigious Al-Azhar University in Cairo, a historic center of Islamic learning. But students also enroll in medicine, engineering, and law at universities across Egypt. When these graduates return home, they bring back not only their degrees but also a deep appreciation for Egyptian culture. They become leaders and professionals who maintain strong links to Egypt, ensuring the friendship continues to flourish. While the trade volume between the two nations is currently modest, it holds significant potential. Somalia's renowned livestock, camels and cattle, find a ready market in Egypt, providing vital income for Somali communities. In the other direction, Somalia imports essential Egyptian products like processed foods and manufactured goods. As Somalia's security and infrastructure improve, this economic corridor is poised for substantial growth, further intertwining their economies. But in the 21st century, a powerful new geopolitical dimension has been added to this historic friendship. The central issue is the Nile River. Egypt is almost entirely dependent on the Nile for its fresh water, and it views Ethiopia's Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, or GERD, as a potential existential threat to its water supply. This has led to a high-stakes diplomatic standoff. In this context, Egypt is actively seeking allies in the Horn of Africa to counterbalance Ethiopia's influence. Somalia, which shares a long and often tense border with Ethiopia, has become a linchpin in this strategy. When Ethiopia recently signed a controversial deal with the breakaway region of Somaliland for sea access, it was a direct challenge to Somalia's sovereignty. Egypt's response was swift and unequivocal. In early 2024, Cairo and Mogadishu signed a defense cooperation agreement, with President El-Sisi declaring Egypt's unwavering support for Somalia's territorial integrity. This move solidified their alliance, transforming it into a formal strategic partnership aimed at protecting mutual interests. This alliance also extends to the crucial maritime domain. The Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, which Somalia's coast overlooks, are vital arteries for global commerce directly impacting Egypt's Suez Canal. Ensuring maritime security and combating piracy are shared, existential interests. So what do we see today? A multi-layered bond, grounded in shared culture, mutual respect, and centuries of history. From the early days of Somalia's independence to today's complex geopolitical landscape, this partnership continues to evolve. Every Somali student graduating from an Egyptian university, every infrastructure project completed with Egyptian support, represents another chapter in this enduring story of cooperation. The story of Somalia and Egypt is more than just politics. It's a living timeline of friendship, shaped by the past, defined by the present, and still unfolding with immense promise for the future.